Hello, little ones. Would you like to hear a story? I've got one for you. Of dungeons and douchebags. Long ago, the land of Irion was governed by many majestic empires. The humans of the plains, the elves of the forest, the Oreads of the mountains, the Merrow of the oceans, and the kobolds and Okiti taking what was left. But, as is so common amongst all with darkness in their hearts, those who had power would not be satisfied until they had more. War broke out, alliances being made and broken in a second, as the once civilized races slew each other in droves in vain attempts to get one more seat of power. The kobolds, on the brink of annihilation, sought out a new draconic god who would protect them. Instead, they found Jogotha. A powerful and terrible dragon, Jogotha cared not for the suffering of those around him. Taking advantage of the warring continent, Jogotha razed Irion to the ground, seeking to carve a mighty empire in his name. A last desperate alliance stood firm against Jogotha, and after a terrible battle, the dragon was finally slain. With Irion torn apart, and no one in any shape to continue the war, an armistice was reached, and the Great War ended. Now, many years later, Irion has started to rebuild, and the age of clockwork has begun. And our unlikely heroes, gathered first to celebrate a harvest festival, may soon find themselves at the center of another war. Trevlon, the halfling bard.
I don't need sleep. All I need is a good case to follow.
Corellian, the kobold paladin.
I will not make the same mistakes again.
Malifane, the half-elf rogue.
I will find them. I will save them. Actions speak louder than words, boy.
Thavagat, the Goliath barbarian.
I am man of simple tastes. Friends. Drink. Cute little bunnies.
And Momo, the Arakakra cleric.
If we have to fight, we will fight together.
From humble beginnings, these brave adventurers may soon find themselves the key to saving the fallen empires. Last time on Dungeons and Douchebags, Fallen Empires. Our heroes woke up at Battenrand's Hall, checked in on how construction was going, and ordered several new projects to be started. Corellian and Malifane had a conversation about the various difficulties Malifane had been experiencing, both before the journey and during, which quickly transitioned into a talk about fate. But before Corellian revealed too much about what he had been doing before the adventure, they broke off and went to check on construction. Thavagat had another conversation with his manager, Julian Jeremier, who was building the battle ring, and Maggie Lionforge, the former knight who had escorted the survivors of the Farfield fire over to Battenrand's Hall. Momo, meanwhile, did some research into necromancy, finding that even though it was a taboo school of magic, there were people who did use the powers of raising the dead for good, so there was still hope for him. At the end of the night, Ishka, the ghostly majordomo of Battenrand's Hall, dropped off one of the keys that supposedly unlocked the rest of the basement. Unfortunately, the key was twisted and warped and in dire need of repair. So Momo said he would take it to Gugmek, the in-house smithy, in the morning. That night, Thavagat had a strange and disturbing dream, convincing him to run away into the woods, leaving most of his worldly possessions behind at the hall. The next morning, Momo handed over the key and learned that it would take a few days to repair, then took the time to ask Gugmek about the bag of holding they had found in the mines, engraved to his son, Jem. Gugmek explained that Oread do not have souls or give birth the way most of the races of Irion do. Most of them get only one spark of creation to make a new Oread. Jem was Gugmek's creation, but he lost his life in an uprising against the dwarves. Having no more use for the bag, he told Momo that it was his to keep. Meanwhile, realizing that Thavagat not being back for the whole afternoon probably meant he was missing, our heroes went into the woods to go find him. And find him they did, in the middle of a druidic circle, with strange new druidic powers, and completely naked. Bringing him back to Battenrand's and trying to understand the situation, our heroes didn't get far, as Thavagat wasn't particularly bright enough to fully understand it himself. The next day, our heroes asked around, looking for anyone who might be able to help Thavagat understand his new druidic powers. Kailani admitted that he did know something of druidcraft, but doubted his ability as a teacher. While Bert, the manager of Battenrance Hall, admitted that he had an uncle who was a druid who preferred being a bear more often than not, but was more focused on the Night of Lost Ale coming up in a couple of days. Their best guess, they figured, was talking to Ishka himself, because apparently the ghostly figure could control plants and ivy, which was a sign of being a druid. But before they could go to the basement to talk to him, Nalur Nulad and a crew of mercenaries rolled into Battenrance Hall with a business offer for our heroes. What does Nalur Nulad have to offer? What is the Night of Lost Ale? And how much crazier can this campaign get, because I think we might have peaked with Thavagath being completely naked and then a druid. Find out tonight on the 50th episode. Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Douchebags Fallen Empires. I'm your host, Alex, and this is our 50th episode, baby! Please ignore all the other episodes where we had to schedule and then something happened and we had to do something else. This is our 50th episode, baby!
We did it, y'all!
Woo! Alright. Joining me, as always, we have our players Jojo.
The taste of victory of 50 episodes!
We have Scott.
50 episodes? I can't decide if I should scream incoherently, scream coherently, or await life.
Why not both? If you saved your
All
apple,
of the above.
if you saved your apple, you could have also had the taste of victory joke, Scott.
I mean, that's true, but
We've
So
got
now you get tired of the apple jokes. Right when it's the most appropriate to have an apple joke. Anyway, who's next?
Phil.
No, I have nothing clever to say. This is not my 50th episode. I'm on like 40 or something.
35.
Shit.
And we've got Atlas.
I'll go back and count. Don't think I won't.
Get fucking wrecked. Walrus is sleeping. He will not be joining us because international travel sucks.
He's all tuckered out.
Yeah, jet lag's a bitch.
I'm sorry, Wally.
Alright. Well, when last we left off, our heroes were looking over construction at Battenrance Hall, as I play that ever-present soundscape. The one with the construction noises. Oh boy, oh boy.
My favorite.
They were figuring out, wait, Thavagath has druid powers? Oh shit, Thavagath is Thavagath. He's gonna have no idea how to use them, and tried to figure out who would be. Their best guess right now is Ishka, the ghostly majordomo of Battenrance Hall. But before they could go back to the basement and talk to him, a caravan rode into the hall with Nalur Nulad, the banker from Port Mirandu, on it. As he looked over at the heroes, gave a quick scoff, because of course he would, he's Nalur Nulad, he is a smug motherfucker, and said, "So you are the ones in charge of the renovations here? I see. Well, let us get down to brass tacks. I have a business proposition for you."
You.
Yes.
And what would this proposition be?
Well, as you are probably aware, a lot of my business is done in real estate, and I currently have a couple 100,000 gold pieces that are currently sitting in my vaults with nothing to do. That is when I heard of a construction and renovation project going down a day's ride from Port Mirandu and thought, well, here's a piece of the pie that I can keep my hands busy with. And looking over at you, he says, "Please do not take this as a personal insult, but I do not think you quite have the same level of capital that I do. So while your renovations are going," he looks over at everything that's being built, "fairly well, all things considered. If this is to be an actual township of any sort of regard, you're going to need another source of income very fast, which is where I come in. I will be happily willing to fund some of the buildings in Battenrance according to my tastes. I will be happily upgrade the facilities that need upgrading. That wall, for instance, that's not going to hold for more than 50 people or so. In exchange for 10% ownership of the land."
Okay, you see, we are in charge of renovation and overlooking the land. We, as far as I am aware, do not own the land. That would be the property of Lord Stormkirk.
I
You
see.
would have to speak with him.
Well then.
Right.
He looks over at Momo. You're the one with ascending magic, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell him my offer.
Yes, sir. He prepares a spell. Tell Lord Stormkirk that, remind me of this guy's name again.
Nalor Nulad.
No, Lord. Okay, sorry. He tells Lord Stormkirk that Lord Nalad, and he tells him his offer, and please load for me. And he casts a spell and sends it.
Okay. Eventually, you get a message back from Lord Stormkirk. He has a point. Battenrance Hall won't be anything worthwhile with just your source of income. I have no issues with this deal.
Lord Stormkirk says he has no problem with you living here and with your deal.
Excellent. And then he looks over at everyone giving him dirty looks. So I am to take it that there will be no additional problems in getting this set up, yes?
Stormkirk's okay with it. I'm fine with it.
I hate to interrupt business, but Mr. Nalan, Krellin sort of moves just a little bit closer. Are you doing all right?
Doing
Since
alright
you know.
considering what?
Well, since the incident in the auction hall.
Ah, yes, that was most irritating to deal with, but as you can see, I am up and about just fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that everything worked.
Well, we were about to make our way inside. Would you care to join us? We can get down to the, forgive me if I'm using this incorrectly, the brass tacks of everything.
That is actually completely correct. Thank you very much for picking up on some of the parlance. Yes, I'll be happy to draft up a contract in there with you.
Fantastic.
Alright.
If you'd like to follow us.
Cool.
Would you like
I
anything
guess.
to drink? Any refreshments?
Do you happen to have any wine?
Oh, do we?
I'll go fetch it.
Alright.
Anything in particular?
He doesn't seem to mind. Anyway, you escort Nalur Nulad inside.
Hey, I'm a fancy bird! He knows how to treat a man!
I see. Anyway, you escort Nalur Nulad inside. He looks over at the state of the manor and goes, well, it's lucky that I have quite a bit of capital that's going to be coming in. And goes over to the dining room.
Yeah, that's fair. He kind of Thavagath just kind of slumps behind him,
Yeah. I mean,
agreeing entirely, but also bollocks.
I mean, half of the manor is kind of covered in construction dust and tarp, so...
I mean, granted.
Yeah, which is why he's fine with it, but he's also just...
Wait, so Thavagath is going into the dining hall after Mr. Nawad?
He's...
Okay. Crowley sort of looks at Malifane, shakes their head, looks to Momo. I don't know shit about wine. Do you?
You're asking the wrong person, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's why I'm not asking you, Malifane.
You were looking at him! Out of character! You were looking at him!
I looked at Malifane, shook my head, looked at Momo.
I see. Okay,
Yes.
ignore that.
I wasn't really taught about wine. All I really know is how to bless it.
Well, let's hope that Thav's judgment got us some good wine, I suppose.
he didn't seem to really particularly care what kind he got, so I'm just gonna hope for the best.
Alright.
If I recall correctly, I got 2 barrels of I got a couple of barrels of alright stuff, and then 2 barrels of good stuff. If I recall
That
correctly.
is correct.
Then I will get a glass of the good stuff.
All right. Make an intelligence check to see if you can figure out which barrel is the barrel of the good stuff.
Frick!
Wait, they look the same? What kind of fucking pieces?
Which one's which? I can't tell! I'm just gonna assume by the smell. You said intelligence?
Intelligence, yes.
Okay. Frickin'!
You instinctively know exactly which bottle of wine to pour out, Momo.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, really?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't like that tone of voice.
All right.
Do it.
Don't be petty now,
All
Dojo.
right. You pour out a couple of glasses of wine, take them to the dining room. The lure says, thank you, grabs a glass, takes a sip, immediately spits it out. Oh my...
Oh, I grabbed the wrong one.
Is this dishwater?
No.
Nope. No
Make
more.
an intelligence check to see if it's dishwater.
Alex, you're the worst, and I hope you know that.
Just anyone. Oh yeah, I think you accidentally poured in some dishwater into the wine glass, Momo.
How the hell did I pour in dishwater?
Malachane silently chuckles to himself, given
There we go. Like, bows a little bit, profusely apologizes and said, I'll get it.
Okay. Oh god.
He goes to his wine cellar and looks at all the wine that he specifically ordered.
You know exactly
And I'm
what
gonna-
wine is there because you're the one who ordered the shit. You know what it is. No check
Thank
needed.
you. Thank you. I was hoping you'd let me do that. Okay, and then I pour out some nice wine, some good quality wine.
You pour out the good shit.
Stop laughing at me!
It's my favorite thing to do. Okay.
I hate you!
All right.
My suffering.
You take out some more glasses of wine. The lord takes a sip of this one much more hesitantly. Well, that's at least something to wash it down.
I am so incredibly sorry. I am not that familiar with alcohol or any sort of thing like that. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
You're good at other things.
Thank you.
I guess just kind of holds his heart like, oh, that was surprisingly cute. Oh.
All right.
So, where were we?
Right, we were finalizing this bit of the contract. In exchange for 10% ownership of the land and the right to build according to my desire and design, I unfortunately will not be able to speed up construction as you people do. In exchange for all of that, I will be willing to fund the upgrading and expanding of any structures that needs to with population growth. For instance, any walls, any farms, any marketplaces, that sort of thing.
Sorry, what was that second one? After
What was
walls?
the second one?
Farms.
Ah, sounded like you said bombs for a second.
Yeah, that's
I was
I
like,
was about to say.
Yeah. Dude, weed, Lamau. Yeah. Walls, farms, graveyards, should that sort of thing become necessary. I will be able to fund expansions of those. I will also be willing to, upon request and upon deal-making, fund some more expensive projects that you might not have the capital for at the time. I am, of course, a money lender, so those will usually be done on credit and loan, and I will be collecting. This is technically outside the bounds of the contract, you see.
and what would you? So that would be for things.
Yeah.
That would be more specific and personal, right?
Well, just for example, let's say that you wanted to build a grand staircase in here or something, and you didn't have the funds for it, and it was very, very important to you that it get built. You would go up to me, or whatever agent happens to be on site, and say, "Excuse me, Mr. Nulard, I would like the funding needed to build this grand staircase, and I will gladly pay you back, and, well, the details will be made at the actual time of the loan. And,
Of course.
yeah. And it will get done, and then, well, you know how loans work, don't you, big man?
Yeah, I get those opinions. Yep. Yes.
Excellent. Now that should be simple enough, unless you have any more questions I can clarify.
Anybody else?
Well, you mentioned that you would want the right to build things to your desire and design. Would that be other facilities or buildings? Do you have any examples of something along those lines?
Yes. Let's see here. Let's say, for instance, that, I really, really want a clock tower at some specific bit of land, and you, for whatever reason, just have not seen fit to actually make it. That would give me the right to just go ahead and start construction on that clock tower without bothering to consult you.
And that would be on your own funding, yes?
That would be on my own funds. I wouldn't... I'm not a monster. I'm not going to withdraw from someone else's account just to build my things.
Fair.
It's very good to hear.
Since you hold the right to build it without our consent, could I ask that you inform us that you have done it, post or during? So we don't just come back and see, build tower, that came out of nowhere.
Well, construction should be obvious, and if you ask anyone there, then they'd be happy to inform you, but that is a reasonable request.
Fantastic. Okay.
Speaking of which, the first thing I would be building is an offshoot, a little building offshoot branch of Goldleaf Trust here. Obviously, I can't be going back and forth between this place and Port Mirandu all day.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
I agree.
No issues.
Malifane is still a little bit skeptical. Given the events that played out in Port Mirandu, something just seems a little off.
Okay. Do you want to make an insight check?
That to himself.
May I?
Yeah.
All right. Ugh.
Oh my god, he's probably planning to betray you all! This is an evil pyramid scheme in which he's going to own Baton Rance Hall!
Jesus Christ!
We have to pay him to move on to our land! Ow.
Well.
Do not feel right about this.
How so?
Malifane, a word, please. And Caroline will sort of like get up from the table, gesture out into the hallway, and expect you to follow.
And as that happens, Navagath just profusely apologizes to Mr. Allard, saying, sorry, he's not all there, like half missing.
Nalur slowly nods and just stares after Malifane as he steps out.
Okay, that was out of character. That was pretty good.
That was
Thank you.
Nice.
Malifane, while I understand that you have personal gripes against Mr. Nula, you do realize that the whole thing in Port Mirandu was not a personal issue, but a matter of business, correct?
Business is still corrupt, Corellium. Businesses can still turn sour. He's going
yes.
to take this from us. I just feel it.
Malifane, we don't have anything. If he's going to be taking anything, it would be from Lord Stormkirk.
Then
You know,
what do you
the guy whose
suggest?
guts you hate. 10% isn't that much. Just let it be, alright? I mean, he runs a bank, he's been running a bank for a while, and it is business, and if word got out that, you know, his business wasn't good, then other people would rise up, I'm sure, to Or, we stop doing business with him. So just let it go for now. We don't necessarily have to take out loans or credits from him as well. Yeah?
You'll forgive me if I choose to stay cautious about this. Regardless.
Colleen just sort of, pats your arm. Alright then. Put on looks up at you. Maybe not a smile, but less of a complete grimace, and just try not to say too much, if that's alright.
There's a bit of hesitation in his next statement. Very well, Captain.
Alright. Carry on then, and back into the dining hall.
You step back in. I take it that you've dealt with your friend Malaphane's little issue, yes?
Aye, we've spoken it over, and we've come to an agreement.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Very well. You finalize signing of the contract. I'll have a copy of this sent over to Lord Stormkirk, and then I'm looking forward to a successful business relationship.
I look forward to it as well. Bert! And he calls out for Bert.
I thought you said bird, and I was about to.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I thought you said bird too. Fuck.
Bird!
All right.
Oh, right here!
And a minute or so passes before Bert comes in. Sorry. I thought you said bird.
No, it's all good. It's the internet connection. I'm sorry.
What?
But this is Mr. Olad. I'm pronouncing that.
You're not, but no one does.
That's fair enough. This is Mr. Olad. He is a new benefactor for construction.
Bert nods. Well, I mean, as long as the money's coming through, I don't really care, so welcome to the tin, whatever, all that. He goes back to looking at his books. Nalad just gives an aside glance to you and then looks at Bert, nods. My men will be in touch, Mr. Bert, says Nalad, getting up from the table. Any of you have any?
Excellent,
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me see you out.
Great, awesome. All right, you escort Nalad out back to the caravan, and as he departs, now is the perfect time to draw a card from the deck of magic things.
Oof. Are we going on the thing we declared earlier? Or?
Yep, it's it's Atlas's turn to draw a card. Draw a card.
Let's try to remember that this time.
We
What
probably
could
won't
it be?
because
What could it be? That doesn't look good.
It really
Woo! I'm so glad I didn't draw a card.
it is the sickness. Mother.
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
Alex,
What?
I
I
remember
draw
this.
another
Explain.
one.
So the sickness normally infects you with a disease. Corellian is a paladin.
Paladins are immune to all diseases and poison.
Draw another card.
Does that mean we draw another?
Should I draw another one?
Yeah, just draw another card. We need to have more in the spirit of chaos, guys.
Yay.
Can we just have... Come on,
So
it's the 50th
that
anniversary. Can we
Here
all
we
draw
go.
a card?
Another
Is
dragon spawns.
It's at the desert.
The big sky.
It's the eagle!
You hear a majestic as an eagle swoops down from the sky, lands in front of you, Corellian, opens its mouth, and a message comes out. We are sorry. The last message you tried to send got interrupted by a cyclone. Please specify another message and recipient.
Krellian just turns to look at Momo and, makes a gesture.
So wait, the message to Rias didn't get sent because of a storm?
I
That's what the
think
eagle said.
that's what... Yeah.
That's what the eagle said. However, if past occurrences is to anything to hold merit, maybe use this for something else.
Oh shit! Right? Wasn't there a
Yes,
message?
yes there was. Yes there was.
Yeah. In that case, Malafine, maybe?
Are you sure you don't
Why
have
don't you
anyone to
send a
send?
message to Malafine? He's right there.
No, I mean, Malafine, would you potentially have someone that you could send a message to?
The eagle just keeps standing there looking back and forth between you all.
I mean, I don't even know if he's still there. Like we said, the only person I can think of had his ship sunk. Scott can word. Scott can brain.
Aurelian, are you sure there's no one you need to send a message to?
No, I'm fine. Well, even if the ship was sunk, this would be potentially a way to find out for sure if, well, you know. Go ahead.
Alright, please send... Oh god, I don't even know what to say to him. Okay, please send a message to Viole Lythos saying, if you can read this, please let me know if you're okay.
Alright. You hear a voice from the eagle, even though its mouth doesn't move, saying, "Message received! Thank you and have a nice day!" As the eagle closes its mouth, goes, "Ah!" and swoops out into the sky again.
Does he move his wings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was gonna do that T-pose shit that Juno pulls.
It's not T-pose the eagle. It is not, unfortunately,
Man.
T-pose the eagle.
You know, I will never understand... I was gonna say I will never understand that eagle.
I will totally understand that eagle.
I don't suppose we could all draw one since it's the first anniversary.
You know what? Fuck it.
Really?
Fuck it. Why not?
Yay! Thank you, Alex.
Phil, you're first.
Alright,
Or
okay.
next.
I'm both excited and terrified. Let's
I'm also-
So are all of us.
Oh,
wanna draw 11
don't like what
cards.
this picture looks like.
Oh, that looks scary.
Oh, this card.
The betrayal.
Oh no!
Oh my
I
god.
should not have suggested anything.
Fantastic. Scott, I'm coming for your lungs.
To be fair, it would have happened eventually.
Alex, would you like to explain to the audience what this card does?
So, the betrayal means that you must do something to hinder your allies. It is a charisma save to overcome the effect.
If I choose not to-
+4 to saves because I'm within like 15 feet of you. Anyway.
If I choose not to, can punching Malafine in the dick count?
Do you want to physically or metaphorically punch Malafane in the dick?
I'm gonna go ahead and say physically, because metaphorically sounds very, very bad.
Okay. Make an attack roll against Malafane's dick.
Okay.
Not even
Okay.
gonna go for the charisma save. Shit.
Not even gonna try.
Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Finger guns.
Is that just normal strength, or can I choose a weapon to non-lethally hit Malafine in the nuts?
It's a punch. It's an unarmed strike.
If you're going to
I
punch
said
him in the
hit.
dick, yeah, it's just a strength.
Alright, cool.
You immediately whirl around and try to punch Malafane in the dick. But you know what, Malafane? At this point, you've been trying to be punched in the dick so much that you just have your buckler at the ready down there.
Whoa, hello.
Whoa,
What was that?
don't know what
Why?
came over me, I just needed to punch you in the dick.
What do you mean what came over you? That's just how you normally are.
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Okay.
I don't feel like this card should count, but...
Fuck
Oh no,
the Thanos.
it definitely counts.
I'm drawing another
Counts.
card.
No, you're not. You've just given Thanos another Infinity Stone. How dare you count?
That was another fucking Infinity Stone.
I'm drawing another card. Fuck you.
I think he's at 4. He just hurled Gamora off a cliff. You hear an ah and boom as a green-skinned woman falls in front of you.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
Oh no, they both own it. Check it out.
Oh no. This is worse. I'm sensing deja vu.
Oh,
Why did you just stick with the
I'm
fucking
sensing
Infinity Stone?
horrible deja vu.
So, as Savagat tries to punch you in the dick, and as the T-posing eagle flies off, you hear a of a very angry cry in Orin, the language of air elementals, as a cyclone soars through the sky and just absolutely fucking decks the eagle and sends it sprawling back down to the ground.
Rippy and Skip.
Why? Fucking karma.
This is karma. I don't want to know what you did wrong. Fuck.
Jojo, I need you to draw that, please. For the love of God. As soon as you finish showing us what your card is, please.
Okay. Oh my god.
I can't believe it happened
I don't know what
again.
this is.
The juggler.
Going right for the jugular.
All right.
No.
I don't like this. Why is he giant?
Because he's juggling.
Don't kink shame him.
All right. Momo, you hear a clink first, and then see a massive pile of gold fall in front of you with a loud plump.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
There is
Oh,
140
no,
gold in that pile.
Holy shit.
Oh no, not at this card.
Nice. Davagat just starts clapping, just like, that's impressive. How'd you do that?
I have no
had
idea.
this card. We've had this card before. I choose to roll insight.
Okay. Go for it. Yeah,
Fuck,
that gold
man.
is immediately going to turn into lead the instant you try and spend it.
Momo, don't take it.
What?
Trust me on this one. It's not what it appears. Don't take it.
You mind sharing with the class?
The gold is
Yeah.
lead.
Lead?
Oh, that one.
Oh man. I was gonna buy an arrow.
My guess is it's some sort of illusionary magic. I'm not sure.
Momo kicks the gold.
Alright, you kick the gold.
What?
It is kicked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Davagat wants
I'm
to take
surprised
the gold and put it into a specific pouch.
Okay, which
A
one?
very separate pouch from any other gold. You know, just so we can have that pouch of
The pouch
gold
of
that is
lead.
actually lead. Yes. Just because I feel as though that would probably turn into might be useful later on. So unless anyone's got any issues with that, I'm going to take the 150 pieces of gold that turns into lead. There's definitely not enough space for that.
Actually, legitimately upset with the cyclone. Like, actually.
I can't
I mean, in
fucking
fairness,
believe the
that was fucking
cyclone
hilarious.
just owned you.
Okay, but in fairness,
Again.
Scott, the alternative to punching out the eagle to that's sending a message that you wouldn't have been able to send otherwise is that the cyclone would have wrecked our shit and or the place around us. I prefer him punching the eagle.
Okay, so apparently the stream is sending 0 kilobytes per second.
So you did, but
All
now
right.
that you bring it up.
Alright, hi, well, we're back. Firefox is no longer taking up 30% of the CPU for absolutely no reason. And we are going to try this again, hopefully with less buffering. Because when last we left off, a cyclone fucking decked the eagle from the big sky. This is the second time that's happened to the eagle. Oh my god, you guys will never be able to send an animal messenger.
You're
Poor
probably
fucking-
right.
Poor man.
Poor boy.
Oh yeah, stream's good now.
Why do I get
Sweet.
the strangest feeling that the eagle is going to be pissed with us?
He's never gonna
I'm
trust
pretty
us
sure it's
again.
fucking dead.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that eagle's fucking dead, my dude.
Every time you draw the big sky again, the eagle will just come back with more and more injuries and casts on it and stuff.
Oh no!
I don't want this.
Eventually, there's a secondary eagle just pushing him in a wheelchair.
Oh my god! The
Now I just want to draw another card. Don't let me do that.
No, we have done the chaos. The chaos is done. Everyone's drawn a card that has had some effect.
And I also finished the drawing.
Thank you, please show me.
Hold on, I have to add one more thing.
Because now the only image I've got in my head is just a completely paralyzed eagle with a little voice box with another messenger eagle,
terrible.
both carrying, pushing, and interpreting.
That's terrible.
Very unfortunately disabled eagle. Like, so, do you have any other messages? No, please take a day off. No, we need to do this. You drew the card.
No, we gotta send a message. We ain't banking this shit.
And just in the distance, you see the cyclone just patiently waiting, just beating his fist again. Yeah. Just hiding.
God, that's awful.
The cards aren't in a specific order, are they?
They shouldn't be. I have them set to shuffle.
Okay.
Wow, you're just really lucky.
Lucky. Sure.
Yeah. What are the odds of that?
I mean, just in case I can shuffle them all right now.
Do it. Shuffle them, so now the bird and then the cyclone are in the...
So now it is the eagle that will punch the cyclone.
I'd kind of like to see that.
Draw
actually.
2 cards. Cyclone, quick. Draw the eagle. In revenge position.
Alright, so, now that the
Cyclone,
chaos has happened, what are you all gonna do?
Whew. Recuperate and remember what we were doing before that shit happened. So, Nalad has just departed to do whatever the fuck he's gonna do, and we were on...
We were going to
way to see
Ishka.
Ishka, yes. So let's do that.
Alright.
Aragath in his very, very ill-fitting peasant clothes is gonna march his way down to the fucking downstairs. Yeah. Oh my god. That's fucking beautiful. Thank you, Jojo.
You walk on down to the basement of Bat and Rant's Hall. It's lighter than usual here. People have set up like candles, torches, and working lights because they are currently building 2 rooms down in the basement. You ask around, and apparently they're building the Arcanist research room and a jail cell down here.
How is she gonna feel about that? I'll be fine.
Where did they say the key was being fixed?
In the smithy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got another
right.
day.
Speaking of the key, the trapdoor is still there. It's got the 5 locks on it. Key is currently being fixed in the smithy and will be ready by tomorrow. And, trying to remember what other details are important. I think that's it. You don't know where the other 4 keys would be.
Actually, can I just ask a quick little question? I'm not sure I was in the episode that announced this trapdoor, or if I was, I've forgotten the details. These locks, are they just normal locks, or are they magically inclined?
You know
Do
what?
we know? Did anyone work?
You know what? Make a perception check. These locks appear to be made out of silver.
Huh.
Can I roll an Arcana check on them?
Sure.
Okay. Please don't bully me if this is a dumb thing to do.
You can feel some kind of magic associated with these locks, but you have no idea what that would be.
These keys must be special then.
Either that,
Obviously requires something very specific in order to unlock them.
Yeah, like the key.
Well, yes, yes, it is. But has anyone tried force yet, or cutting? I mean, I'm not sure if anyone's tried it yet. Has anyone tried it?
I don't think
Your
it'd be-
funeral.
I don't think it's worth cutting into them because they do have some sort of magic to them. What if it's resistance?
If it's resistance, then it will resist.
What if it's like a trap or something?
Then I feel 75 out of 75 today.
Really specific.
I don't know what that means, but go ahead, I guess.
Go ahead.
Alright. Just because we haven't tried it before. Let me just... Real quick, where's the fucking button? Which key do I get? You said 5, right? The 5 keys?
There are five
sorry,
keys.
five locks.
Yes.
5 locks, I meant. Alright, I picked the 4th one along. And I stick a javelin in the keyhole and twist as hard as I can. In the little lock hole. You know, the loopy bit.
Yeah, it's still called
that holds it together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I twist as hard as I can against the grate and the lock.
Make an athletics check.
Oops.
Alright.
If the lock's enchanted, then maybe the force is enough to break the thing holding the lock.
You make a valiant effort. The lock just barely manages to hold, but as you pull with one last bit of your might, you hear a and you think, oh, that's a good sign. I probably broke it, and you look. The lock is still intact, but everyone down in the basement just feels this rush of wind going towards the exit.
I don't like that. I'm out. Bye.
Wait, hang on, hold that thought. Is this, well, I'm blanking out on names right now.
Ishka?
Is this Ishka?
Make an Arcana check.
Alrighty. Arcana, there we go.
It feels like a ghostly presence of some sort. That being said, you do not have a method to determine which ghostly presence is which, so it could be Ishka, but it could very well be another spirit. After all, you've heard that there are 3 ghosts of Battenrance Hall.
Alright, whoever you are, come on out. We didn't mean anything.
Is there something I can roll?
Yeah, that didn't work. Well, it was worth a shot.
Wait. Is there something I can roll? Is there something like, is there something I can roll or cast to identify the spirit?
Make a religion check.
Ooh. Aren't you guys glad I'm a cleric?
I hate you.
I love you too.
Also, I have proficiency in religion myself, and I think it's a point higher than yours.
Oof.
Oof.
Flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay. Anyway.
It is. Holy shit.
Why don't you be the cleric?
Momo.
You were saying, Alex?
Yeah.
Momo, despite your complete distaste and fear of ghosts, you read a lot of stories about ghosts back at your monastery. It's not the whoosh you should be really listening for, because that could be any ghost. You listen more closely, and you hear following the whooshing sound in the wind as it blows past you towards the outside. You believe that this is not Ishka. You have slowly learned to recognize when Ishka is actually around, mostly because Ishka actually talks to you. You believe that this is the ghost of something much larger, or rather, the ghost of something riding something much larger. Though you can't see it for sure, your best guess is that this spirit is a Dullahan, or as it's more commonly known in the common tongue, a Headless Horseman.
Momo just gets like his eyes widen and his pupils shrink and he just goes like pale.
Mal is still making an attempt to call out the spirit. Come out. Yoo-hoo.
no, thank you. And he, like, immediately, like, goes upstairs and avoids.
We don't mean that.
Goodbye.
Momo, come back.
No, hold on. You run in the direction of the ghost?
No,
In
he
fear of the
runs
ghost?
out of the room because the wind is going toward the exit. So
you're
he
following or running from?
running from you dingus.
Okay,
So-
am I the only one
Okay,
confused?
so
No, you're not.
so the whoosh of wind headed upstairs. You are currently in the basement. There is currently no other exit from the basement other than going upstairs. Are you saying that you want to go out of the basement and then run back upstairs to the rest of the
I
hall?
completely misunderstood. I'm very sorry. I go to the complete opposite where the wind is going. I'm sorry.
You run to a corner and hide in the construction equipment.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
It's all good.
Momo,
no,
what's
it's all
wrong?
good.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Momo, what's wrong?
Momo, what you doing there, buddy?
What happened?
It's not Ishka.
Well, we
Okay.
figured that much.
This isn't
but-
Ishka. It's not the wind you should be worried about. Do you hear the tapping? The clopping of the
Tapping?
horse hooves?
Horse hooves.
Listen closely.
Oh, now that you mention it.
What the-
Yeah.
It's a
What is that?
Headless Horseman!
Huh.
Cool.
Indeed.
I guess. Well, I suppose I'll try to follow the noise and use my divine sense to see if that'll help me follow it more accurately.
All right. You head upstairs. Your divine sense is pinging against two things. One, staying still in the basement, kind of over by the jail cell. You think that might be Ishka. And another, as you head upstairs, and Ishka's presence fades away as you get out of range, you detect something kind of blipping in and out of the range of your divine sense, moving away from you, heading outside towards the grounds of Baton Rance Hall itself.
Well, that's no fucking good. I guess I'll call Oscar to me in the hopes that she'll help me catch up to whatever it is and continue trying to follow it to make sure that doesn't cause any trouble.
All right. Mushka quickly runs over because she's close by. It's not like Port Mirandu where there's several miles between you and Mushka. He runs over. You quickly hoist yourself up and get mounted and continue the chase. Eventually, you get to a place where the blip on your divine sense radar is no longer flitting in and out of your senses.
Does it seem like it's heading towards a particular direction, like towards something that's being built or any other landmarks?
It looks like it's heading towards the farm.
I guess I'll just continue to follow it until it perhaps stops, and I'll ping my divine sense again if that runs out.
All right.
4 more ways to do that.
Cool. Anyone else following?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Nope.
I mean, I would, but I don't think I can keep up with Moshka's moshkaing, so I'm gonna stay with Mama and comfort
All right.
the poor boy.
I'll follow after. Malithane will follow after.
Cool. Corellian, Malithane, and Mushka, you eventually get to the farm, and a chill wind seems to be blowing over it as a lot of the workers there are busy sowing some seeds, watering, digging dirt, all that good stuff that goes on in a farm. And then, from the ground, you hear a as this, crack of hole of dirt in the ground just kind of bursts up, and a fully grown pumpkin rises from the earth, floats up into the air. A couple of gold pieces seem to fall from nowhere into the hole where the pumpkin came from, and the workers just kind of stare in panic. Then there is another whoosh and a clap of thunder, even though the skies are completely clear. And in that clap of thunder, you see the phantasmal flickering form of this tall, coat-wearing figure atop a horse that seems to be breathing and shooting fire from its eyes, rather than just spittle and tears. As the horse rears up and whinnies, the coated figure holds up the pumpkin in one hand, holds a sword up in another, and has two pistols in holsters on its chest, and cackles madly, and then everyone around just screams and runs away from the form of the Headless Horseman before it vanishes once again.
Well,
Dang.
that was certainly something, and it just completely vanished from my awareness, yes.
Is your divine sense still active?
Yeah, I would say so.
No, it's still there, it's just out of sight. Like, you can divine sense it, you just can't see it.
As in it stayed where it was, or it's still in range?
It is still standing where it was, according to divine sense.
Bitch.
Very, very impressive, I must say. Where are my manners? My name is Corellian, and we've heard that there are a few people who inhabited these grounds. It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. or Madam, sort of a blank, as in, insert your name here.
And as you speak, you hear another cackle. Heard! You might as well have just knocked on the door and said, come out wherever you are. Not to worry, though. Looks like you built out the hell of a playground!
Playground? What do you quite mean about that?
Ride with me and find out! And then you can feel something whoosh past you as the divine sense tracks its movement as it just runs between you and Malifane.
Let's go!
Oh, wait for me. Hang on.
Oh. Chase music.
I love it.
Alright. You continue to ride in the vague direction of where the Headless Horseman is riding. You assume he's going in a straight line, even though it goes through buildings, which you just go around to compensate for the fact that you cannot phase through solid matter. And eventually, you see the bathhouses. The pumpkin that came from the ground appears out of thin air, starts glowing with fire, and flies for the bathhouse before...
Before the pumpkin goes,
Whoa.
I want to cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Because Hunter's Mark is limited to something I can see. So as soon as I see it, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on it and keep going, just so that I know where it is when my Divine Sense runs out.
Alright. As you do so, the pumpkin flies through the air, glowing with fire, and explodes against the side of the bathhouse. The bathhouse is now on fire.
Oh.
Oh my god, do me and Thav, hear this?
Yes.
In that case,
What happened?
now we run out.
Yeah.
Let me actually set up this next battle map in case you want to fight the Headless Horseman for whatever reason.
Ooh.
Listen, he's running around wrecking our shit. Maybe.
I'd kind of like to try that. Scott kind of wants to try that.
Why would you try to fight?
Playing's no fun if you wreck all the shit, you know.
Alright. And as the pumpkin strikes the bathhouse and everyone gasps in terror, drops what they were doing and runs, the Headless Horseman once again appears in a flash, cackling as the horse rears up, kicking its legs in the air madly. Guess what? It's time for initiative, baby!
Woo!
Yummy.
Oh boy.
You guys thought there wouldn't be combat for a while.
Whoops. Gotta remember to click on your token, children.
And the buffering's back.
Oh, goody. My favorite.
Well, everyone continue to roll initiative. After you do that, though, I'm going to take us out of this map and try and fix it. Hello, welcome back to the stream. I figured out what was causing Firefox to screw up. Let it be known that I will never try weather effects ever again, because that causes immense amount of CPU usage for some reason. Haha.
I choose option C, await death.
Await death, okay. In the meantime, I am starting back up the bootstrapped Headless Horseman theme as we go into battle with the Headless Horseman. Mal, it is your turn first.
Alright. That pumpkin there, is it back or
No, the
is it
pumpkin
still
exploded.
kind of exploding? Oh boy. You know what? I'm gonna try and tag one of the legs of the horse. So I'm going to move. You know what? I'm gonna stay where I am, and I'm going to. Yeah, I'm just gonna tag its leg with an arrow. Let's do that. Let's pray that this works.
Alright. You let loose an arrow at the steed. The Headless Horseman seems to be an expert in mounted combat, and it leans over the side of the horse and parries the arrow before it can strike it. That is one of its abilities. It can force attacks targeted at the horse to target it instead.
Target hit?
I am not revealing the Headless Horseman's gender.
No. I mean, like, as in the Dullahan, or?
The horseman can force an attack targeted at its mount to target itself instead.
Okay.
That is the description of mounted combat.
Considering Momo's next, I will provide some words of encouragement to Momo. Just say, be careful of that. So, Master of Tactics.
Pardon my language. No shit.
Alright.
I should actually put that over.
I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Cool.
Do it. Yes. Do it. Cast it. Submit. Please.
Please.
Thank you.
Liz.
Roll 20.
Why aren't you
please.
working?
There we go.
There we go.
Yay.
Oh my god, you know what? I can flavor this really well considering the backstory. A bunch of spiritual, ghostly Aarakocra figures surround... hold on, let me actually look up what Spirit Guardian does, because I think they surround you rather than surround an area.
Yes.
Ah, frick.
Yes, that is
That's
true.
radius around you.
Alright.
Well, now
So-
I'm intrigued.
You chant some sacred words, and a bunch of ghostly Aarakocra appear around you, 15-foot aura around you, which I'm going to make real quick. The form appears angelic, because they're good ghostly birds, and you can designate creatures you can see in the aura to be unaffected, which I'm assuming is your party. Affected creatures' speed is halved, and then they also take radiant damage when they start their turn in the Spirit Guardian's aura.
Ooh.
Sweet.
It's pretty nice. There we go.
Nice.
Protection.
Is that your turn?
Yes.
Cool. Alright, it
Panic
is then
because he didn't know
Thabagat's
what to
turn.
do.
Trying. Okay. Well, firstly, could fly into a rage.
Yay! You learned
I
to
actually
rage
did that this
first!
time.
Yay.
It took 50 episodes, but I got there. And fucking, I can't really think of a non. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just get in with Spider's Edge. Fuck it. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna whack at that spirity ghosty leg with this tasty bitch.
Cool. That is
Oh,
a
that's
hit.
hot.
Alright. The actual axe itself kind of phases through the Headless Horseman because you're trying to whack a ghost, and it's not very effective. But because your rage deals radiant damage, that is actually going to hurt it for full radiant damage. So slashing's been halved.
Don't mind that pink. That was nice.
Alright, and I'll do it again.
Yep. Alright. And once more, you hack away at the Headless Horseman. You look up to see how much damage your attacks look to be doing. It looks like not much.
Shit. That's my turn. Got no anything.
Alright. So, first, the horse needs to make a saving throw because it's in the aura, but the Headless Horseman is not.
Woo!
It failed the saving throw, so it takes that 20 radiant damage as the ghostly
Damn.
Aarakocra harry it and swoop by it with claws and talons and stuff. And it angrily neighs in response. Then, double checking its speed. Oh, yeah. The horse rears up and flies past at such speed that attacks of opportunity are basically impossible to make against the Headless Horseman. And the Headless Horseman is going to just cackle madly and swing its sword at Thavagath and Momo. That almost fell off the table. That's a hit on Thavagath.
Mm-hmm.
And let me double check how much that deals, because it's a lot.
I don't know.
That is 24 slashing damage to Thavagath.
Holy shit!
Alright, I'm waiting.
Oh my god!
Alright.
That's way too many.
You brace yourself
sorry,
against the
you're
blow
D12.
with the power of a Goliath. D12 plus your Constitution modifier. Nice!
Constitution modifier is 4, so 14. Yeet, so that was how much? 24 damage?
24, so
10.
only take 10.
Nice.
And it's
Wait,
also going to
hold on,
hit...
Just a second. Just a second, so I may be either impressed or outraged. Fucking... Oh, what's the name of the spell? Spirit Guardians, that halves the speed of an affected creature.
Yes.
Does that mean that this bitch had speed so fast that even when halved was too quick to be considered an attack of opportunity?
That is correct.
That is terrifying. How dare you do this?
Mm-hmm. That is one of the Headless Horseman's abilities. While mounted, the horseman and its mount don't provoke opportunity attacks.
Okay. I guess, never mind. I thought you just had a ridiculously high speed.
Nope. But as I was saying, it hit Momo too. For 14 slashing damage.
Okay.
Damn.
Lucky.
And then
What's 35 minus... I mean, what's 35 minus 14?
21.
Thank you.
And
Shut
then the
up,
horse
That's dead.
flies up into the air and lands on the roof of Battenrant's Hall.
Traveler, look out.
Great.
And it rears up, neighs, and cackles again. The Headless Horseman is clearly having a blast. Corellian.
So, when I cast my Hunter's Mark earlier, is that still in effect on the horseman?
You know what? I'm going to be nice and say that even though the pumpkin is absolutely fucking destroyed, it was a part of the Headless Horseman for some time, so yeah, the Hunter's Mark does still apply to the Headless Horseman.
Just checking on that. In that case, I am going. I may or may not make the right decision here, but I am going to use one of my divine abilities to abjure enemy on the horseman, actually. And
Okay.
if they count as an undead, then they would have disadvantage on the wisdom save.
The Headless Horseman is in fact undead.
That's versus 15.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that even with disadvantage, Both of the rolls were 5 before wisdom modifier, so yeah, it is abjured.
All right.
Unfortunately, the horse is not.
That's fine. The horse moves. The horse doesn't necessarily attack like the horseman does. And then, since I don't need to use my bonus action, alright, I'll basically... Listen! I know you enjoy playing games. This isn't worth it. I'm sure we're all on the same side here.
The horseman looks down at Thabagath. Yeah, I'm gonna call BS on that one, says the horseman.
Okay, most of us are on the same side.
Looks down at you who shot an arrow at the horse. I think you know my response by now.
Fine, fair enough. What do you want other than a game?
I want you to stop trying to break into the basement of Baton Rance Hall. It's not worth it down there, you little shits!
Can you tell us why?
Better option. Why don't I tell you all to go fuck off?
I'm pretty sure we all got that
Sunny,
fuck off
Sunny.
message loud and clear, honestly.
I'm not sure you did!
Carlin will sort of like look around at everyone. We good to not break into the basement at all or make any attempts, yeah?
You're not the least bit intrigued as to why we shouldn't go down there?
Not at the moment. No.
Not the time, I guess.
Is everyone good on this?
Alright, if you stop this crap, I'll leave it alone.
You're gonna have to specify, because I do a lot of crap.
Okay, destructive shit. Specifically here.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Persuasion. Oh. Could have been a 19.
You have my word, I will not destroy this spot.
What about Baton Rance Hall as
What
in
about
the
it?
grounds?
That wasn't part of the deal!
Would it be possible to extend the deal?
You are on thin fucking ice, Mr. Kobold!
Absolutely. We won't break in, we won't make any more attempts. That's a promise.
So long as you hold your end.
And right around this time, that has been a minute. The Headless Horseman is no longer frightened. The horse turns around, gallops off, turns around and flips you both. Well, not flips you, not both. Flips all of you the double bird as it disappears into the afternoon.
Very pleasant. Right. Fire! Let's get that sorted!
Yeah.
Alright, you run back over to the bathhouse, which is still on fire. Since you were distracting the Headless Horseman, a couple of the workers have come to try and help put it out, using some of the bathwater that is conveniently right there.
Wow!
Wow. Alright, I'm gonna try something. Thabagath is, because he's a bit of an idiot, he's gonna try blowing it out.
Okay.
However.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
I'm subconscious to use gust.
Sure.
Thabagath does. Oh right,
cantrips.
Thabagath doesn't know how wildfires are spread. Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Can it be cold?
You know what? Thabagath, make a constitution check to see if you can successfully cause the fire to blow out and not blow somewhere else.
Oh no.
Alright, Constitution save?
Check.
Check. Oh, that's disadvantage.
I'll take the 20.
Oh, the first one. Yeah, thank you, Dad.
You blow out this powerful gust of air, and with a whoosh, but not a ghostly whoosh like the Headless Horseman caused, some of the fire goes out in the breeze, and eventually you manage to put out the fire at Baton Rance Hall.
Huh. Even I honestly didn't expect that to work.
That
Good job,
would have
Logs.
been reckless. At least it's done.
We talked to each
God, I hate ghosts, I hate spirits, I hate anything abnormal or supernatural or any of that!
Don't you want to be a necromancer?
Well, yes, but that's different.
How?
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
know yet. I don't know. Don't bully me.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right, so...
Dargath grabs Momo and hoists him on his shoulders as we make our way back to the basement.
We're not touching the locks again.
I think we should just avoid the basement in general.
No, we can just go ahead and avoid the locks. There are
For
exactly
now.
2 buildings and 1 Ishka down there that we need to see on a fairly regular basis.
Alright.
No. It wouldn't be entirely out of the question that the two know each other.
Yeah,
Perhaps they could have perhaps they could have a bit of conversation about it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask. Well, okie dokie. Thavigat just takes lead.
And
Makes
once
his
more,
way
you go down to the
back to the
basement.
Maybe if I just try at a different angle. No, we'll leave the locks alone. Okay. Ishka.
You feel a chill run down your back, and then you hear slow, sarcastic clapping.
Mama covers his face in shame. Oh no.
Okay, it's
don't
not
like
like you
that.
told us there was one of those down there.
I believe I did.
You told us that if we were to mess with the locks, a Headless Horseman would come around and start spanking us.
I told you that you probably shouldn't, but I would not be able to stop you if you did. Naturally, being you look like the adventuring type, you decided that means we should try to break into the basement. What's the worst that could happen? The worst has happened. Now that common highwayman is loose and he's going to ruin everything again.
So you know him then?
Him? No. That's no him. That's just a common strumpet.
Would you mind giving us a few details?
Around the time when Baton Rance Hall was in its decline, that time obviously being when I passed on, there was a highwayman that had been bothering the general area around. Unfortunately, she seemed to be rather popular with the locals, caring about their needs, their food, their basic shelter. Didn't seem to have the taste for the sort of luxury that Baton Rance Hall had to offer. So, she broke through the defenses, managed to find her way into the good graces of Lord Baton Rance himself, and kill him.
Oh,
Interesting.
well, that sucks.
Yes, it does, in so many words.
Do you know of any ways to get rid of it? Her?
You think I haven't been trying?
No, okay. No,
Do you have any idea how fucking irritating it has been being bound to this spot with her as company?
What's her name?
Do you think I give a single care about what her name is?
Well, if
But
you're stuck
did you-
down here with her, then you must at least know her name, right? Forgive me for asking if it's out of line.
I know, yes, but like I said, I don't care.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Any details are a benefit.
To who?
That's all I'll say.
Well, that seems like an issue we've got to deal with eventually, but right now we've struck some kind of deal, I guess. And since you're obviously
The
not
deal is not to mess
in
with
the
locks,
talking
that's
mood
what
for
we will
that
not
kind of
do.
thing.
Have
Yeah.
we, though? Nothing exactly was set in stone.
No, you're right. But if we keep digging, either we'll piss Dearishka off, or we'll incur the wrath of that bitch again. I'm not really one to do either of those things right now. I have questions.
I'm sure
We-
you do.
We Gucci? Okay, cool. Ishka.
What is good?
I
Probably
think I
some
made that
term
word
in
up.
giant.
Gucci is now officially a word in giant. Okay, we're just putting that down.
So,
Sorry, the different expressions just chased across my face right now. Fuck. Okay,
I felt it. I felt them.
Ishka, you're a druid. Well, were a druid, right?
I did commune with nature, yes.
Cool. I was wondering if you might be able to help me in a few little things, because I think I might be one now as well.
Why?
we still don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Why?
Why, what specifically? Why am I a druid? Why am I asking you? Why
Why?
did I say Gucci?
Why should I help you?
Oh, mainly because I asked really nicely. I was hoping that would be enough.
Well, considering that you have made the rest of my unnatural existence hell by unleashing a Headless Horseman to prowl the once great grounds of Battenrance Hall, no, I would say asking nicely does not cover it.
What would you consider covering it? And see it done?
Well, honestly, I'm not sure what I could offer that you wouldn't somehow manage to screw up, so... Oh, wait, shit, you can't see him, but you imagine that he's giving you a dismissive wave.
We don't have the. Oh, that's right. Trevlon has the.
Trevlon's
lantern.
got the lamp.
And he's currently on the roof for some reason. Silly
Leave him
asshole.
alone.
Out of character. How are you doing up there?
I like the roof, it gets me closer to the stars!
It's really cute. Holy
Aw,
shit.
that's really cute. Aw.
Okay. Are you sure there's nothing I could do?
I'm pretty sure,
So
yes.
let's make you help me, or no? Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure as always, Iska.
Don't lie to me, it hasn't.
Yeah, you're right. Fucking bitch.
God! I'm so sorry, Iska.
I mean, he very, very clearly doesn't like me and is very audible about it. I'm sure at least a little bit of honesty can get us somewhere. I'll see you later, I guess.
Matter, you don't just.
And Thavagat just starts walking
Let's
away
just go.
in the middle of all of this.
There you go.
Is he still carrying Momo?
Yes.
Ah, dang it.
Fine, he puts him down. Happy.
Alright.
Was that not something you wanted to do with being put down, or no?
No.
In that case, he keeps hold of you. Fucking.
He picks you back up!
Oh, you want to say anything?
Tell
What?
me that it comes back and then picks it back up.
Wait, I forgot something. Yoink.
Hey!
Are we done?
Are you done?
We have bigger fish to fry, don't we?
I mean, do we?
I mean,
Good
do
talk,
you?
good talk.
Or what are you talking about?
Yeah, Scott, what the fuck are you
Hello?
talking about right now? What fish?
I'm starving.
Would
Scott,
I?
Scott, who's dead?
I can't believe.
Oh, fuck.
This is a curse stream.
This is a
What are you saying
cursed
now?
stream.
Would. Never mind.
Good talk.
Okie dokie.
Well, so Hunter's Mark is active for an hour. Would I be able to maybe get an idea of where perhaps our Dullahan has flown off to, or not?
You have advantage on checks made to find it. You don't automatically know, so make a survival check.
Alright.
Pardon me.
Ooh.
Alright.
Okay.
If it follows the same rules as Ishka, the Headless Horseman, she probably cannot leave the grounds. So, you go have a look around places that you think the Headless Horseman might go, considering her apparent distaste for luxury and the like. So obviously she would not be near the tenements or the houses. Looking up what you do have. And you hear the sound of hoofbeats going through the marketplace.
Okay.
There don't appear to be any horses in the marketplace.
It's fair. At this point, I don't think I want to tangle with her or anything like that. I just want to be sure that she doesn't hurt anyone. I mean, I don't think that she would, considering what Ishka mentioned, but I just want to keep an eye out, I guess.
That's valid.
Alright. You keep an eye out on the woman that you cannot see to make sure that no
An
one in
eye
the
out, an
marketplace
ear
gets
out,
hurt.
whatever. A nose out. Have Mosca help me, whatever.
Unless anyone else has anything specific they want to do right this second. Favagas says something. Nope. Cool. Favagas is going to head down to the blacksmith.
Alright. You head over to the blacksmith, whose music I did not prepare because I am a fool. Ah!
Foolish fool. Don't worry, we'll just be at the spooky blacksmiths.
You're at the spooky blacksmiths! The haunted blacksmith!
Or we could just.
Well, I mean, technically,
Sound effects.
the whole place is now haunted. Anyway. Hello. Fucking, I need to block off a small section of ground. Could you make something that can just cover that shit up? We have a trapdoor in the basement we don't want anyone fucking with.
Gugmek looks over at you, Thavagath, stares at you for a solid minute, and eventually goes, and goes back to his work.
Sweet. You got a quote for something like that? Or is it a surprise?
Gugmek eventually says, I'm not building that.
Oh. Okay.
Does he have any specific feelings toward Thavagat?
Are you with Thavagath?
Yeah, he's still carrying me.
Make an insight check.
That's true.
Okay. Come on, good. Roll 20, please. I almost said D20. No, it's roll 20.
Droll 20.
Roll 20.
Denote.
What did you say to roll again?
Insight.
Insight.
Ah. Is.
You get the feeling that, like a lot of Oriad, Gugmek absolutely hates Thavagath for the whole Kinslayer thing.
Oof.
That being said, though, he's being reasonably professional, considering that.
What if I
relay this information to Thavagat?
What if I were to offer a pleasant tip?
Gugmek looks up. Did you tell him, little bird?
So.
Did you tell him of my son?
I didn't.
Then I shall give you the short version. Oriad do not have souls, we do not give birth the way the rest of Irion does.
We have one spark of creation that we use to build another of our kind. We use to make what we think is the perfect form. To destroy something that you have created with love is the greatest sin an Oread can do. I will not build this for a kinslayer.
Thavagath is just kind of doing that thing where he's running his tongue over his teeth, lips pursed a little bit, just a... Okay. Well, I hope you have a nice day. And he leaves solemnly.
Gugmek slowly nods and goes back to his work as you step outside.
Oh, right.
I'm sure we can find someone to make it.
Thavagath just kind of looks down at the floor for a bit. Just, yeah, I'm not in the mood anymore. And he kind of just walks back to Ban Rance in the direction of his room.
Alright.
And that'll be his action for the day. He's not coming out.
There goes Thavagath. Momo, you want to do anything for the rest of the day?
I don't think there's really anything more I can, except wait for the key. That's going to be done tomorrow.
Alright.
The key that we will not be using.
Yeah. I should go inform that guy about the key. I will
But
do...
it's good to have the key. Good to have the key. Just, we don't want to use it yet.
We're told not to force it. Whatever.
Yeah, let's just wait until
true.
we've got all of them. Let's not try anything.
Okay.
Alright. Meanwhile,
Never mind on that.
Corellian and Malifane, you two are teaming up to keep an eye out in the marketplace, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Night eventually falls, the sounds of construction stop, and behind you, you hear, "Hello, place you're getting set up."
What do you want?
What I want? Well, I mean, obviously, I want this place to never be the den of sin and depravity that it was, but apparently I can't get that, so I guess having what fun I can, trying to get drunk, if I even can get drunk anymore. I'm pretty sure I can't. You get my point, though, right?
Yeah, sin and depravity, though. What was it like?
Let me guess. The Birdman told you it was the lap of luxury.
That was what was implied, yeah.
You have any idea what that fucker Lord Vanrant was getting up to behind closed doors? There wasn't a
Yes,
hole in any
that's
prostitute he wasn't plugging.
Damn.
Yeah. Most of them got to go home.
Most.
Yeah, most of them. The rest of them, well, when I got here last time around, I found my good old friend Christine over there, and there. A little bit of there, too. They talk about, being the height of, style and glamour and all that. You know how many backs of the little guy they had to step on to get there? Far too many. Someone had to pay the piper.
Very fair. Very, very fair. Do you mind if I ask your name?
Well, now that you're not throwing arrows at me and thinking, oh, that's going to kill a ghost, I don't see why not. Jennifer, with a G. I don't think we're at the point of last names yet.
Of course not, but, as a show of confidence, Corellian Bayless. And this is my associate friend, Malifane. It's up to you if you choose to give her your last name.
Malifane Lathos, ma'am.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
She, sighs. You hear the snort of a horse behind you. Shame, really. All that money that Lord Battenrant was putting into making himself look real fancy and shit. We could have had a real nice town going on here. I'm talking, like, you know, like guild memberships and shops and stuff, importing and exporting, bolstering the economy for the little guy to give them a better shot at life.
Yeah. You're right, honestly.
Of course I'm right, I know what I'm fucking doing! You hear her chuckle, as you remember her just throwing pumpkins randomly at bathhouses.
This actually gets a little bit of a chuckle out of Malphane.
I mean, did you often go about to estates and towns, providing your own, I guess, incentive or stimulus for the common folk, or was that just a Battenrats thing?
Well, you know, this is the place where I had to spend the most time doing it. Usually, you know, there wasn't a bunch of Ivy actually fighting back against me, so that was a big downer.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine.
Mm-hmm. And then you hear applause. You know, I'm pretty sure that's actually why I don't have a head anymore.
You mean you don't know?
It's all kind of a blur. You can't just ask a lady why she doesn't have a head. Haven't you heard any manners? I do declare, she says, putting on an accent.
I apologize. I'm just curious.
I'm fucking with you, dude!
Of course.
So,
I would just... Go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead. I mean, you don't have time, I do. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, I mean, what if we found it? I guess. Is that a thing that could happen?
Theoretically, I mean, if it wasn't a pile of dust by now, it's been a couple of decades, if not centuries.
Probably closer to centuries.
Oh, yeah, that thing is definitely gone.
Yeah, especially because Ishka's and Aarakocra, and I'm sure you don't get out much, but they don't exactly. They were eradicated a while ago. Yeah.
But I saw that one kid.
He's from out of town.
He's yeah.
Off the continent.
That's Actually, you think all the rest of the Aarakocra are like old fussy back there?
I wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, I was just asking because if that was the case, I'd say good riddance, but I don't want to assume.
Momo's pretty nice, I would say.
Would Mel have read something like this, or...?
Make a history check.
Alright. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. You're pretty sure there are no books on Aarakocra history. They are strange and mysterious people.
Well, I mean, with a sample size of 2, one being centuries old, I'm not really one making judgments on that, but
Fair.
the one I know personally is pretty alright.
Alright.
If a little rattled by ghosts, I suppose.
He's a good boy, though. He is.
Yeah, he gave off that impression. Seemed alright.
Does your horse have a name, by any chance?
Of course it does, as I pull up the list of horse names.
I'm sorry, would you rather me not ask?
I call her Snowball.
Snowball.
Did the horse indeed look like it could potentially live up to its snowball name?
Hell no! Hell no! That horse looked like it came straight out of the 9 hells! That is not a Snowball!
So you just chose it just to fuck with people, or...?
I don't think horses look like that when they're alive, no.
I wouldn't assume so, but I'm still curious.
Are you implying that I would fuck with people and name a pure black horse Snowball? Oh, my stars and garters!
Fool me once, shame on you.
I don't feel shame anymore.
I don't blame you. Either way, Snowball is definitely a beautiful animal. So, well, from what you said, I presume you're not here to hurt anyone or fuck with anyone, yeah? Not too much, at least.
I mean, I really don't want to see Bat and Rants Hall Round 2, second verse, same as the first. But I'm only one girl. Can't stop all this construction. Say, you're the ones who are actually, in charge of it, right? I mean, you're the ones who look like you know what you're doing halfway.
Halfway's yeah, that's a generous estimate. This position has been thrust upon the lot of us, you could say that.
Can we not use the term half anymore?
Sorry.
Anyways.
Well, I'm gonna trust that you lot don't, go hiring, murdering a bunch of prostitutes. But in the meantime, this market's fine and all. Makes this place self-sufficient, takes care of the basics, but if you could manage to set up like a couple of I don't know, traveling merchants, more specialized farms, if you somehow manage to get guild ties in here, that would really help the people who, call this place home, or are gonna call this place home. Make sure that it's not just the fancy schmancy types up in the manor who are living the high life,
Now slowly looks to Corellian.
No, I think those are, good ideas, actually. Guild ties. We do have... Fighters Guild does have something going in. I do have ties with the Tinkers Guild. We could definitely work on that, and yeah, we do have lots of people coming in. Carlin sort of, pinches their brow. Just a lot of refugees recently, and it's just...
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, considering all that, I would go look for someone who knows at least 3/4 of what they're doing, because, I would, but I don't have a head and I scream at people, so I don't think that's gonna end well.
You are very intimidating.
Thank you, I try.
Absolutely.
Right, as I was saying, go bring that up. I'm sure someone will be able to think of something that would, help this place out merchant-wise.
Of course, thank you, Jennifer. It's much nicer to be speaking on these terms.
Isn't it, though?
Apologies about earlier in the day. Hopefully we can finish off on better terms.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully you don't just go trying to break into the basement or anything. That's gonna end poorly for frickin' everybody here.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to do that again. Krellin will sort of, hesitantly, extend a claw to shake.
You feel, this sudden chill on your hand as it moves up and down, seemingly of its own accord, but probably because it's being shaken by a ghost.
Yeah, likewise.
And then you feel a ghostly lick on the back of your head. You roboted super hard.
Yeah, so did everyone just now. I think.
Yeah,
that was just,
everyone did. You as well. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Alright, I'm gonna back up. You feel a cold presence on your hand as it shakes up and down. And then you feel this cold and clammy lick on the back of your neck.
You just see this visceral shiver go up Corellian's spine, and then they just yes. Well, that's indeed. If you need anything, well, I'm sure you can find us, no issues.
Oh yeah, probably. You're not exactly very good at hiding.
Didn't try to be.
Alright, and you say some more goodbyes, and you hear hoofbeats trotting away from the market towards the manor itself.
We should probably get going.
Yeah, guess so.
Alright.
Mal is as they're walking back towards the manor. Mal is about to start writing everything that just transpired in his journal, but just as he's about to touch the quilt to the journal, he thinks for a moment. This is more just flavor text. Don't worry about it. He thinks for a moment, flips toward that one page and tears it out before going back to it.
All right. And I'm assuming everyone is turned in for the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. In that case, as everyone sleeps, and I pull up the spooky sleeping music, because I have that somewhere, and it's very spooky.
Ooh.
Alright. It's here somewhere. Yeah, there we go, the Dreamlands track.
Dreamlands track.
Alright. All of you are, you individually, so you can't see each other, but you individually all have the same dream. You dream that you are in Baton Rance in the dark of night, and the basement is glowing with some kind of silvery light. And as you head down towards it to see what it is, you see 5 keys floating in the air. And you look over what the keys look like. There is the one that you recognize as the broken one that's currently being repaired over at the smithies. One that looks kind of crappy and brassy, but then is covered with a golden sheen after this, like, liquidy gold substance pours down over it. Another that floats in the air and then disappears into a bunch of bubbles, basically. Then there's the 4th key, which, as you look over it, you hear the sounds of hammering going boom, boom, boom. And stone and mortar just forms around the key, forming like a brick cube around it. And then you see this claw reach from the darkness and grab the 5th key. And then you hear a voice.
The keys, they are hiding from me, or taken by foul creatures. Retrieve them, boy. Retrieve them and bring them to me, and I will grant you power beyond your feeble imagination.
And before you can ask anything more of this deep, scratchy, gravelly voice in your dreams, you're woken up to the sound of construction.
Voice sound familiar?
The voice did not sound familiar.
Okay.
Alright. So I'm assuming you all slowly and groggily get up and go downstairs to get breakfast.
Yes.
Yes.
It's breakfast time! It's delicious! Meanwhile, we've got 2 players on BRB! Yay!
Yay.
Yay.
Sorry, not BRBing, just eating loud crisps.
Okay. Cool.
Momo looks over at Thavagas, and what does he look like? What is his face? Does he look somber at all? Does he look better from yesterday?
He looks completely fine, as if nothing, as if the day before had not occurred. Just happily eating away at his medieval waffles.
Medieval waffles.
Okay. Good. Sounds good. Good.
Everything's fine.
Hey,
Could be all wrong.
what day is it? Does anyone know? Has anyone been keeping track? I'm really tired. Fabregas looks around for someone with a bit more cognizant. Are there any?
Well, there is Bert
Hey,
and
Trevlon! Do you know what day it is?
Chevlon's like, you know, I sleep so little that I'm not even sure myself. I think it might be last year in terms of how little I've slept.
Thanks for trying.
You're welcome.
What would I need to roll to see if I knew a date?
I'm going to go ahead and say that, you remember what day it is as Bert comes walking by, a couple of glasses of ale in his hands. This is a holiday across Irion and across all the 10 realms. Today is the Night of Lost Ale.
But it's daytime.
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on. I punched Malafine in the dick.
You have punched Malafine in the dick successfully!
Yes!
Momo just bawling with laughter, like. I knew it would happen one day, but I didn't think today would be great.
I don't care for you. I really don't care for you.
So, Night of Lost Ale. I've been wanting to ask about this night for about a week. What does Thavagath know about the Night of Lost Ale?
The Night of Lost Ale is actually a holiday that goes across all the 10 realms, so a lot of people have at least some knowledge of what the Night of Lost Ale is. It's basically a holiday that's meant to be celebrating community, like family and friends and the like. At the start of the day, everyone brews at least one mug of ale, basically, the titular Lost Ale of the day. Sometimes, if they have the time and the means, they can brew more, but usually it is just the one. And that particular one is set aside for a sunset ceremony. Any extras are shared among friends and family as you sit down, have a nice talk, drink a mug of ale. Usually takes like 10 minutes or so, but it's a symbolic gesture that's really nice. But it is a magical holiday. For you can also basically invoke some magic words and try to contact someone who is far away, like not physically there, and they can spiritually join you for a Night of Lost Ale mug. Basically, if they are alive, willing, and able to get to a mug of ale, they will know, hey, X is trying to share a drink with you, and will be able to sit down, have a drink, and it's like you are there with them and they're there with you. Then,
Oh, that's really cute.
Then at the sunset ceremony, everyone takes that one mug of ale they set aside, they gather in like a town square or somewhere else that is exposed to the sunset, and pour out that one last mug of ale as remembrance for their departed friends and loved ones. And then the sunset like reflects off the puddles of ale, making them look iridescent in really pretty colors before they evaporate. That is the Night of Lost Ale. It's a night of drinking with your buddies.
I like this. This is a nice
Night with the
holiday.
boys.
Cracking open a lukewarm one with the boys.
It is important to note, however, that since this is a holiday, and since children partake in the holiday, the Night of Lost Ale, whatever magic is running it, doesn't particularly care about the exact recipe or alcohol content, and does accept, like, heavily watered-down drinks as a symbolic, this is a drink that I am sharing with my friends.
And just to make sure I didn't mishear you,
That's
is it going to be any ale, or does it have to be ale that's been made by you and or your family? You can't just go down and get some store-bought ale.
You cannot just make some store-bought ale. It has to be specifically brewed by you for the purpose of being used in the Night of Lost Ale.
Okie dokie.
Oh.
Let's get to work.
Get to work. What
Yep.
do you mean?
Well,
Tell me what
We
you need
have-
to do.
Well, here's the thing. We are in a place with not that much, not that much in the way of resources. People piling in all the time. Do you reckon they have the ability to make ale? We've got to make a lot. A lot to go around. Come on, boys, let's get started.
Okay.
All right.
Bert, would you like to help?
Yeah, of course. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Fuck yeah. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and pretend that Thamagath knows exactly how to make ale and has been doing it lots, has done it a lot, but I personally have no fucking clue. So, Alex.
Rather than go through the steps of making ale, and have a teetotaler try to explain how to make ale in a game, I'm just going to say that if you have proficiency with brewer supplies, you can automatically make a lot, but I'm guessing that no one here does have proficiency with brewer supplies.
You're funny.
I had to check there for a second. Can I disguise a glass of water as some ale?
Why
'Cause I have
do
a
you
disguise kit.
Never mind.
Well, no, I have a proficiency in disguise kit.
Yeah, you have proficiency with the disguise kit. You don't have a disguise kit with you.
No.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I never used that, do I?
I will say instead, everyone just make a straight D20 roll.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Come on, you.
Someone please roll higher than 10.
Someone.
Thabigath.
I mean, I did.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Thamagath got a 17. He's good. I'm rolling for Bert, by the way, since he's helping. Bert also rolled a 17.
Roll 20.
Woo!
Yay.
Momo.
Oh, wait, you said Bert. I thought you said bird in reference to Momo. God damn it.
Jesus
Not
Christ, that's the
again!
second time.
We're not doing this joke again!
That wasn't even a joke. I genuinely... Oh, Bert.
Rolling dice.
13! We got it. Okay. I'll
shit.
take the 13.
Oh my god. Thank you.
Cool.
Roll 20's being mean to me.
It really is. Anyway, so, Corellian, you're having a little trouble. The Night of Lost Ale makes you think of people who will not be able to join you for a drink, so you are preoccupied and only manage to make the one. Malifane, you carefully follow along with the steps, and you're able to make the one drink, but you also manage to get another drink, so you've got a total of 2. Momo, you are very, very interested in this, so you follow Thav's instructions closely and manage to brew 3 total mugs of Lost Ale. And Thabagath, you are all for brewing this shit. You've got 4 total mugs of Lost Ale, as does Bert, who appears to be really into it. Trevlon Blue Quill could not make it, and wow, we shit on him even more today, I guess. He's like, oh boy, I made 5 mugs of Lost Ale today. I cannot wait to share them with all my friends and family, the ones who are alive at least, and I have contact with. And then he trips and spills them all.
Oh no. Wait, you said minimum of 1.
I did say minimum of 1. Trevlon just got fucked because it's a natural 1.
No.
And you know, not here.
Yeah. If we don't get to the end of the Night of Lost Ale, I will let Trevlon actually try again. But in the meantime, that's just a funny way to explain why he's not participating.
Okay, sorry, you said Thabagath made 4, right?
Thabagath made 4, Malifane made 2, Corellian made 1, Momo made 3, Bert made another 4.
Oh, that's a fair amount. Okay, to the tenements.
Before you go out, Bert's like, you know, actually, I'm pretty sure everyone in the tenements is able to brew them up for themselves, so you don't need to worry about passing them out unless you really care about it. That being said, if you do want to share, I am not going to stop you.
Oh, so that it would be fair to assume that everyone in the Ban Rents grounds was able to make.
It is fair to assume that the refugees in Baton Rants are either able to make mugs of ale or do not participate.
Fair
Yeah,
play.
the mugs of Lost Ale are just for, like, your friends, family, and NPCs that you want to share them with. Or if you feel bad for other PCs that have made really bad rolls, you can share with them and they can use them.
Yeah, I was planning on giving one of these.
Giving one to Trevlon.
Good.
Right, well, I think that's a bit of a waste because Trevlon's not actually rolling here, but whatever.
Well, I want to give it to him because I love.
Alright, you know what? Fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
Well, Thavagat's gonna go over to the fighting ring, I guess.
Cool.
Because he fully believes that Julius lives there.
His name is Julian, but okay.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. I keep mixing that up. Sorry, I'm reading some book with the main character, Julius. Just fucking... Yes. Goes over to Julian. Yeah, go.
No, I was going to say Malifane is going to go over to the library and bring one over to Quintessa.
Nice, okay.
Momo's gonna go over to the residence place and give one to Rayana.
Alright.
Oh.
Corellian's just left with the one,
really
unless
hope-
any of
I
you want
really
to
hope-
share an extra.
Before he leaves, Thavagat will give one of his to Corellian.
You really don't have to, it'd be a waste.
Well, then drink both. And forget your feelings.
Yeah, good call. Thanks.
Okay. So, we're going to first head over to the battle ring. There are like a lot of bits of scaffolding and dust scattered all around. People are slowly but surely actually cleaning it up so it's not just a hole in the ground. Julian looks over at you, Thavagat, sees that you have a mug of ale in your hand, and is like, "Ah, buddy, you shouldn't have!"
yeah, I shouldn't, but here you go anyway.
You flatter me. And he sits down, you pour out 2 cups and start sipping. And Julian eventually says, "You know, Goliath's like you. I don't want this to come across as a racist thing, because trust me, that's not where I'm going, okay? Okay. Goliaths are in really high demand, by like gladiators guilds, anywhere that's looking for a bouncer or an enforcer. It's cause obviously you're very strong. People look for that in a fella. But this guild, it's about presentation. It's not just about being the strongest. It's about what's inside. And looking at you, big guy. Looking at you, I think there's a big ol' heart to match that big ol' chest of yours. So I guess this is just an old man rambling, but I guess that's why, even though people said no, don't hire this man, he's got no performance ability whatsoever, I told them all to go shove it and brought you into the guild.
No, I'll never forget it. I will never forget it.
Hey, big guy, you just keep doing what you're doing, That's the least I could ask for.
Yeah, and you... keep being awesome, man.
Well, I mean, that's certainly a lofty goal to aspire to, but I can try. And he sips his ale.
I don't think I've actually asked you yet. How are you liking it here? Not the ring, the place. Batman's.
Well, the place. I mean, heard a lot of stories about it. Heard it was haunted. Could be a nice place to attract word of mouth. See where a bunch of ghosts fought, and now actual people are fighting. It's quiet. Especially considering the big cities I'm used to. But sometimes quiet's nice. Sometimes quiet makes you think.
Yeah, I like that. You getting along with Maggie at least? How's she doing?
Well, getting along is a strong word. Maggie just kind of does what she wants. She seems pretty keen, though, on making sure this place has a workable defense force. Can't exactly say why, but when I first saw her, I thought she was, gonna be the type to just sit on a chair somewhere, yell at kids on her lawn, the type that was done with picking up a sword. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Might ask her.
Maybe. Well, anyway, I'm going to be at sunset. I'm going to be up at the actual halls. If you'd like to join me, I'd be on that.
Everyone's gonna be joining you, big guy. That's how the night works.
I meant there specifically, like, right next to me.
Well, I'd be honored to have a place at your side again, big guy.
Fucking Gucci.
Fucking Gucci. And you finish off the mug of ale.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but Julian Deramere speaks giant, so he does. Meanwhile, in the library, because Malphine was the next person to speak up, you open the door. Quintessa looks up, sees you got a mug of ale in your hand. I was wondering when you'd come around. Come here. Let's get to a table. Let's not spill anything on the books.
Of course. How have you been holding up?
I've been holding up reasonably well. Admittedly, had a little bit of a panic, which you were there for. When I heard that Thavagath had read the journal. She takes a shaky sip of ale. But
yeah, I'm gonna make sure pages like that aren't written ever again.
That's a good precaution to take. But considering I'm not hearing any whispers about it amongst Baton Rent's Hall, it could be that the information just stopped with him. Maybe, he doesn't care about that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong about my first impression.
I'd say it's a sign of good blessings. But God damn it.
Sorry, you did it to me, I had.
I'd say for now it's a sign of good blessings.
And I'll take all of those I can get. But how are you holding up, You go out adventuring, fighting who knows what, having who knows what happen to you. Every night you're not here, I start wondering, what's it actually going to happen, Malphine? When are we going to get the ceremony done with? When are we going to be actually married?
Tessa, I would love that just as much as anything else, but I just worry about them. I worry about my family, and I just want to be able to see this through. I mean, do you ever wonder what happened to yours?
I don't like to dwell on that sort of thing, but I know it's important to you, and I know far better than to try and take that away from you.
I promise you, once this is all out of the way, we will make that happen. You have my word.
I'll be counting the days in anticipation, she says, taking another sip.
Say, you still have that bow of yours, do you? You wouldn't happen to still have that bow of yours, do you?
Oh, I do, actually. Admittedly, haven't had much of the chance to practice. Most of my work has been writing and cataloging.
Of course.
Why do you ask?
Momo was actually interested in looking into another weapon of sorts.
Really?
Said that he wanted to experiment with something a bit more ranged. I said that I would put in a work with you.
Oh, of course. Momo was actually in here, I believe, 2 days ago, looking into necromancy. Ordered a couple of books on the subject, now that I recall. It's nice to know that he's looking to broaden his horizons. The poor thing's obviously very sheltered.
I'm honestly really happy to hear that. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just thinking about the whole thing about the social stigma about necromancy, and, it's really not as bad as people say it is.
Exactly.
Honestly. I mean, people just associate it with death and the concept of dying and just bringing people back. And, I mean, there are plenty other applications that can be used to it, you know?
Of course. It's just very easy to villainize a school of magic when the face of it is a screaming skull of some kind, but people can fight death for the greater good. It's just a pity that a lot of people don't bother looking into it that way.
Leave it to a negativity bias to do that to you.
Welcome to Arion, I suppose.
Well, if you wouldn't mind doing, if you wouldn't mind helping him with that, I'd really appreciate that.
When I have a free hour, I'll make sure to offer it up and see if Momo's interested.
Maybe I can put in a good word with Stormkirk.
Maybe.
I'll certainly try, at least.
Well, best of luck with that. You let me know if anything goes wrong with that, because, honestly, Malifane, I expect it at this point, but I'm really hoping that it goes well. He seems to like you well enough.
I'm hoping. It honestly surprises me that... Well, don't take this the wrong way, but it just shocks me that you're here, that you got this just...
Honestly, me too. But it's a steady income. I don't have to worry about royalties paying for room and board. It was a deal I just couldn't not take, you know?
As long as you're happy with it.
Of course. I'm with you. How can I not be?
That makes me happy to hear.
Of course. And she finishes off the ale.
Well, here's to us, and here's to Irion.
Here's to us. Clink. Here's to Arion. I'll see you again this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
Take care of yourself, Quintessa.
You as well. You especially as well. And you head out after some last loving goodbyes.
Oh, you guys are so gay.
Alright. Meanwhile, Momo, you head over to the tenements as I double check to see who else has moved in since you last left off.
Oh, boy.
There are 9 more Okiti in here. So a total of 10 Okiti, counting Rihanna.
Oh, joy. I go over to Rihanna's residence and I knock on the door.
What residence? It's a fucking tenement building.
That's what I meant.
You go over to Rihanna's cot and you offer up the mug of ale. She looks at it confused for a second before eventually getting it and says, thank you. And helps pour the mug as I show the art of the good girl.
Yes.
What a girl.
So precious.
He's so good.
I love her.
Alright. You get a couple of sips in. Rihanna is taking very, very tiny sips. And eventually offers up.
Aw.
I don't want to take too much of this. Back home, we don't have a lot of this to share. It's a communal thing. The ale night.
Yeah. It's alright. If you want to hold on to it and have it for yourself or share it with anyone else, feel free to do so.
I would, but like, if that's okay with you, of course. From what I hear, it's more about personal connections. Okiti to share and are communal because A, we don't have all that much to go around, like I said, and B, personal connections just aren't things you do. You work with the crew. You eat with the crew. You sleep with the crew. Not in that sense. She says, chuckling.
I understand. It's all right.
Good. Some people don't. It's good, I guess, that there are a couple more Okiti here. Now I don't, stick out so much.
Of course. How have the tenements been treated?
Well, it's just like home. I can tell you that much.
And you look around at the tenements, which are honestly pretty bad. Probably need more maintenance than they are getting.
At least you feel at home, right?
Yes. And I don't.
Away.
And I don't even have to wonder if I'm getting a meal this day. So that's very nice.
Very good.
But speaking of sticking out like a sore thumb, you probably know my question already. How do you do it? How do you get through life, being the last one of your kind?
Mama kind of blinks and turns his head away for a sec.
I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. No one's really just asked me that question. I don't really think about it. Knowing that I'm the last Aarakocra in Irion, it's a weird feeling. Everyone always looks at me saying, "Oh, look, a bird," and saying like, "Bird person," you know? I've grown used to it, but it's not all that. It kinda... I don't know. It's just something I don't really recognize. Don't tend to think about it.
I see. I was just curious, you know? Okiti tend to be invisible. Like the individual Okiti. People know and talk about the rat men of the slums. They don't look at us. I just wanted to know what it was like with eyes on you as a person.
Honestly, it's not all that. But there are pros and cons to being recognized out of nowhere. I prefer to just be one with the group, you know? Have people look at me with my friends, not just at me.
Rihanna slowly nods. That I think I can understand.
Momo smiles and kinda brings Rihanna in for a little hug.
Rihanna gives you a tiny hug back.
Yay! I love her!
And you finish the mug of ale.
Yay! We're all going to be in the halls for the holidays if you want to join me there in the sunset.
I'll probably be in the crowd there.
Alright.
And you say
I nod.
You say your goodbyes to Rihanna, and you head out of the tenements.
God, I love her. I will protect her.
These two.
Protect the sweet girl.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Corellian, you remain at the hall with the mug of ale that Thavagath lent you and the one that is reserved for the sunset. Do you still plan to go to anyone?
Not in particular.
Alright. You sit there, staring
and you hear a rap on a doorframe, look over, and Kailani is standing there. He holds out a mug of ale. Do you terribly mind?
No, not at all. Please, have a seat.
Alright. Kailani shuffles over, sits down, starts pouring out the ale. I just wanted to say thank you for giving such a glowing recommendation. Giving me the chance to, work here. I wasn't getting much done at the Great Library over in the City of Shimmering Lights, and, it's been nice seeing more of you. I thought, wouldn't be able to after business was done.
Yeah, I don't think that, I can't imagine any of us going back into the city without being deboned, perhaps. No.
Oh, that's probably not going to happen. I mean, the Queen likes you, and she's the one who usually does the deboning. Gwenamere... Gwenamere's gonna be Gwenamere.
Yeah, you're right. No, absolutely. I mean, you're more than worth any glowing recommendation.
I'm flattered.
Don't be flattered if it's the truth. You're kind of far from home. Do you miss it, the city, or?
Yeah, I write when I can. But I've got duties here, and unless there's, any pressing issue that requires full attention, here's where I'm gonna be for the foreseeable future.
It's very, responsible of you, I suppose.
Right,
That's
of course.
the right word.
And if I do have to go back to the city for whatever reason, I'm sure Morrissey and Marsh are going to leave the shrine in good hands here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're more than capable from what Momo's mentioned. I don't think I've really spoken to them too much, but...
You would definitely remember speaking to them if you did. They're kind of idiosyncratic in their speaking. Some days it's just one talking, some days it's the other. I know they can both speak common perfectly fine, but one of them just decides to speak in one-word answers and grunts some days. I have no idea why.
It's actually fairly relatable if I think about it.
Some days, looking at you lot, I can kind of understand. But no offense, of course.
No, none taken at all. Not whatsoever. Yeah, we're definitely kind of the strange bunch. I can't imagine what you thought when you first saw us coming down after you hired some mystery group to help you with your issue and all that.
You honestly want to know?
Yeah, actually. I would.
Well, I thought that you two, well, not you two, you five, didn't know each other. That most of you didn't care for each other. And that some of you would probably turn tail and run if it got tricky or if something else caught your attention. But I had faith. I had faith that somewhere between all of you, there was something that tied you together, that made you fight for a good cause together, even if you disagreed on the specifics for it. You've got to have faith,
Yeah. Exactly. And, 2 out of 3 ain't bad when it comes to your assumptions, that's for sure. But we've gotten over it, mostly. It's only taken months.
So glad to hear that that sort of thing takes time. But eventually, prayers do get answered.
You think so?
Well, I mean, I'm a priest, I've got to think so.
Yeah, sorry, stupid question on that one.
There are no stupid questions, just really stupid answers.
Thank you for coming down.
Of course. Kailani finishes his ale. Of course. It ain't for anyone to go through this night alone. Well, I suppose I'll be seeing you at sunset then.
Yeah. Definitely, of course.
Of course. And Kailani says some final goodbyes as he heads back upstairs, fairly slowly, because marrow legs are not made for dry land. Alright. You all, after that first drink, gather back together to reconvene around lunchtime. Just so I can get the party all back in one place to chat about their experiences and their feelings.
Oh.
Oh, feeling. Oh, dear Lord.
Cool. You all sit around the dining room table and have your lunch.
So, what did you all do today? With that ale, I mean.
visited Rihanna.
How is she doing, by the way?
She's doing good. She says that she feels at home and that she's eating. A few more Katie have moved into the tenements.
Really?
Yeah. So she said that she doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. God, do I know how that feels?
Have you asked her about them?
I'm sorry?
Have you asked her about them?
No, not yet. Next time I visit her. What about you all? What have you done?
I just had a wee chat with Julian. Just, seems to be settling in quite nicely. Nice to hear. Said something really gay. Kinda touched. Didn't expect that from him. And you? Crime? Get up to anything?
Oh, yeah, I mean, what else do you do with ale other than drink? No, spoke to Kailani actually, just had a bit of a chat, that's all.
Oh. That's nice.
Yeah. He surprisingly had faith with us, apparently. Even after he saw us for the first time after hiring us. Couldn't believe that.
I really can't.
Yeah, me either, but... yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I put in a word for you, Momo.
Oh?
I spoke with Tessa about the archery thing. If she gets a free moment, then
Oh, what?
consider yourself in luck. Momo?
Momo?
You cut out, I'm sorry.
I said if she gets a free moment, then consider yourself in luck.
Oh, excellent! Thank you so much!
Happy to help.
Sorry, I'm just,
Something wrong?
I heard that there was something you could do with the ale, like, you contact someone who wasn't here?
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
I want to try and do the ritual.
Okay. Alright. You've heard enough tales about it that I'm gonna say make an Arcana check with advantage.
Aha! Yeet! I just rolled 20 bullying me today.
Why roll 20? Why?
Why are you doing this to me? Arcana is
Arcana, yes.
Oakley dokily. Click it.
Click that
Please.
Click it real good.
We gotta click it.
You suck.
I will roll a straight 20 for you if I have to.
Might need someone to roll for me because this
I
is
got
ridiculous.
it. I got it. I mean, I don't have your character sheet,
Oh,
but I'll roll
wait,
a
I think I got
20
it.
and then... Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Hey!
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 Oh, thanks.
Oh!
But
Oh,
wow, that's a spread.
Ow!
I see 3 8s in there.
3 8s
Four.
in there! That's
Technically
not
four.
enough to know how to do the ritual, Momo.
Oh.
It's okay, buddy. I don't want you to get your hopes up. They have to be able and willing.
And
I'm sure he's heard of the day before.
I'm sure he's heard of it, but you remember the circumstances he seems to be in.
I know, but there's got to be some sort of chance that he could get it, and I could see him again. Cause I just. He just kind of puts his head in his hands.
Sorry,
I'm
Mama.
sorry.
It only works for people who are here and people who have cancer. It's just how it
It was
is.
something.
We'll
There was
figure it
something
out.
I could do, because I can't send him a message, because then he'll get a finger cut off. And if I try to do anything else, then someone else will get hurt, and I just don't know what to do anymore.
Exactly. Mama, it's okay. Listen, we'll figure it out. We'll get this done. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure when. We'll figure out who's taking him. But for now, just enjoy the night, okay?
you know what? Screw it. He gets up from his seat and says, "This is a festival to celebrate family, isn't it?" Well, forgive me for sounding sappy, but what the fuck is wrong with all of us here? Why don't we count? Why don't we just celebrate as ourselves?
I've always thought of you all as family. You've been there for me and helped me grow as a person, and you all helped me through some of the toughest times in my life so far. I think that counts as family.
Right back at you, little buddy. And what about you lot? What do you say?
I say I don't like your tone. Mainly because you seem to be implying that Momo is very unfounded in their upsetness. And I was very close to punching you in the dick again. But I do agree with the sentiment.
Brilliant.
You know my answer.
Then, I say, this is a toast to us. A bunch of misfits who got together and, well, look where we are now. And we're not stopping anytime soon. Regardless of where we go from here, we're going to continue to be as one unit, and one family. So, to us.
To us.
Yeah, what he said.
And you raise a toast.
Momo kind of slaps. Yay!
You raise a toast and pour the ale. And that's where we're going to end our session, because that is a fucking perfect ending.
Yay, family!
Yay! Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties. They will be fixed in post. And I know what happened, so it's probably not going to happen again. Probably not. We'll see if Firefox cooperates this time around.
Please.
God.
But, with that in mind, thank you all for tuning in, and we shall see you all next week for the 51st episode of Fallen Empires, where hopefully Trevlon will actually be able to participate in the Night of Lost Ale. Bye-bye!
We never did get down to that route. Bye!